Hello friends. On May 7, 1697, a terrible fire broke out in Stockholm's Tre Kronor royal palace. It is said that during this incident, about 24,000 books and more than 1,000 manuscripts were reduced to ashes, causing significant loss to the royal library. However, there was one book that miraculously survived the inferno because it was thrown from a window just in time. The book was so large and heavy that it even injured someone standing below. This book was the Codex Gigas, commonly referred to as the Devil's Bible. No one knew how the fire started at the Tre Kronor royal palace, but according to some experts, the cause was the Codex Gigas itself. Throughout history, it is said that whoever possessed the book experienced misfortune. This is why it is often called the most dangerous book in the world. But what makes it even more mysterious is its origin story, which is as ominous as its journey through history. Our story begins in the early 13th century in the Kingdom of Bohemia at a Benedictine monastery in a place called Potrait, which is located in what is now the Czech Republic. There, a monk named Herman the Recluse is said to have broken the monastery's strict rules. As punishment, he was condemned to be walled up alive. Desperate for mercy, Herman pleaded for his life, and the head monk of the monastery made him an impossible offer. He told Herman that if he could write a book in one night that contained all the knowledge of the world, he would be spared. Faced with no other option, Herman began writing the book. However, as midnight approached, he realized the task was beyond human ability. It is said that in his desperation, Herman summoned Lucifer and asked him to help finish the book. The devil agreed, but in return he demanded Herman's soul. Desperate to save his life, Herman accepted the pact. Satan then spent the night writing the book, and by morning, he had completed it. The next day, when the head monk arrived, he found a massive 160-pound book, about 72 kilos. Its pages made from the skin of calves and donkeys. This enormous book, measuring about 36 inches, 3 feet long, contained stunning illustrations throughout. Before we delve into the mysteries hidden within its pages, let's look at the book's remarkable journey through history. All historical records mentioned in the Codex Gigas end in the year 1222, leading historians to believe that it was completed around that time. On the first page of the book, there is a note stating that it originated in the Potrait monastery. In 1295, it was transferred to the Sedlec monastery, and later that same year, the Břevnov monastery purchased it. In 1594, Emperor Rudolf II of the Kingdom of Bohemia took it from the monastery's library to add to his collection. It is said that Rudolf had no intention of returning it, as he was particularly fascinated by the image of the devil on page 577. But why does the Codex Gigas contain this frightening image of the devil, and was it created by Lucifer himself? Some believe that Herman drew it to thank the devil for his assistance. Whatever the reason, the book remained in Rudolf II's collection in Prague. However, it is said that the Codex Gigas brought misfortune to Rudolf, leading to his eventual overthrow by his younger brother in 1612. He died soon after. The book remained in Prague for several more years, but during the 30 Years' War, 1618-1648, the Swedish army looted it and took it to Sweden. In 1649, it was placed in the Royal Swedish Library, which was part of Queen Christina's personal collection. Queen Christina, too, it is said, faced the book's curse, as she was forced to abdicate her throne in 1654 and fled to Rome. Although she took most of her collection with her, she left the Codex Gigas behind. Then, in 1697, the fire at the Tre Kronor Palace occurred, as I mentioned at the start. While the fire caused great destruction, the Codex Gigas miraculously survived. In 1768, a new royal palace was built in Stockholm, and the entire library, including the Codex Gigas, was moved there. Finally, in 1877, the Codex Gigas was placed in the National Library of Sweden, where it remains to this day. Just before the page with the map of heaven, there are 5 pages written in capital letters where Herman confesses his sins in great detail and asks for forgiveness. Then, on page 577, there is the infamous portrait of the devil, which raises even more questions. The devil in the portrait is depicted wearing an ermine loincloth, a garment usually reserved for royalty, thus signifying him as the Prince of Darkness. Some believe that Herman drew the devil to express his gratitude for helping him complete the book. The rest of the book is beautifully decorated, with numerous illustrations and text written in calligraphy. Considering there were no printing presses at that time, this 630-page book was entirely written by hand. Many experts find it hard to believe that one person could have written the entire book in one night, as the legend claims. In fact, scholars estimate that a single person working on it continuously would have needed at least 20 years to complete it. Yet the handwriting remains consistent throughout, with no signs of aging or change in the style of writing, which would be expected if one person wrote it over decades. Even more mysteriously, the ink and handwriting remain identical from the first page to the last, which would not be the case if multiple people had worked on the book. Moreover, it is difficult to believe that one person could have maintained such perfect handwriting over 20 to 25 years, especially as handwriting naturally changes with age. This has led some to speculate that the book was indeed written by some supernatural force. Another strange feature of the Codex Gigas is that the first page contains letters from the Hebrew alphabet, though the rest of the book is written entirely in Latin. Some believe this supports the idea that Herman started writing the book, but Lucifer completed it. In addition to these eerie features, there are many stories associated with the Codex Gigas. In 1581, a caretaker of the royal library fell asleep inside the library and was locked in overnight. When he woke up, he witnessed something terrifying. The books of the library were floating off the shelves and dancing in the air. The Codex Gigas then emerged from its case and joined in the strange dance. When the library staff opened the doors in the morning, they found the caretaker trembling under a table. His mental health deteriorated after this incident, and he was admitted to a mental hospital. As you might know, the Codex Gigas is not in its original form. 10 of its pages are missing. Some believe these pages contained forbidden knowledge, possibly prayers to summon the devil, which is why they were removed. Others believe they might have detailed the Benedictine monastery's rules. There are also theories that the missing pages were separated when the book was thrown from the window during the 1697 fire. Some conspiracy theorists even claim that these pages contained information about the end of the world. Despite the numerous mysteries surrounding the Codex Gigas, you can still view it today in the National Library of Sweden in Stockholm. A scanned version of the book is available online, but you would need to know Latin to read it. So, what do you think? Was the Codex Gigas really written by the devil, or is there an even more mysterious story behind its creation? Share your thoughts in the comment section below. If you liked this video, please give it a like and share it with your friends. Also, please subscribe my channel and comment, "I subscribed," because I am a student and it is too difficult for me to make such type of videos with my college work. Please, it helps us a lot. And if you enjoyed this story, I highly recommend watching our next video, where a girl was sexually abused for 24 years underground by her own father. Link will be in the description.